If you've ever imagined of starting your own housing program, there is no reason that after we're done here tonight that you shouldn't go to forstonconsultants.com/webinars and watch the webinar, guys, because a lot of you have wanted to start a group home or traditional assisted living facility, but that stuff takes license. It takes a lot of time to open. There's a lot of red tape to jump through. You have to ask for permission. We teach you guys how to open an ILF, an independent living facility, where you can house the homeless, displaced adults, or anybody that has a guaranteed income, and it doesn't require a license, and you don't have to own the property. Make sure you watch that free webinar at forstonconsultants.com/webinars, and then set up a free strategy call so that me and my team can get you started. Let's get back to the show. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? What's going on, everybody? And welcome to the live broadcast. Don't wait to be great. I am your host, Mr. Derek Forston. And as always, I'm excited. Today is a great day to be alive. So again, if you're joining us right now, or if you woke up this morning, you are already headed down the right path. You got off to a great start today if you're alive right now, because somebody didn't wake up this morning, but you guys did. So that's something to be thankful for. So again, tonight I'm gonna be super short tonight. Probably the second shortest room I've ever done. So again, if you guys got any questions or concerns about the independent living facility model, make sure you go ahead and really put those in the chat really quickly. I won't be here really long tonight. I'm making Shay take me out on an ice cream date, y'all, tonight. So I won't be super long tonight. But again, as always, we want to make sure that we're consistent and that we always show up. That's a big part about who we are. No matter if it's birthdays, holidays, the good, the bad, and the ugly, we always show up. So if you love God, love people, and love real estate, you're in the absolute right place, because this is where we show people how to start your own housing program. So not a group home, not an ALF, not a traditional group home or an IDD or APD or any of those housing models that have a license attached to it and state oversight, and you have to hire a staff and all of that stuff. We don't do that, right? So not that we're against that model, but we're on the side of the right now model. Like, how can we start right now? And that's through the independent living facility model, which stands for ILF, independent living facility. And that's just simply an environment where adults are able to live and thrive without the need for staff and or medical oversight, right? So again, if you always want to help people and you love real estate, this is the way to mesh all of those together. So as I said, unless I got a bunch of questions tonight, I won't be super long. I do have about 2 or 3 questions that already kind of came in like they normally do during the week. I mean, usually I can tell if it's new people, because if it's things that we always talk about, I can tell that. So make sure that you guys check out our original webinar that can be found simply by just texting the phrase "more info" to 407-326-0086. And I'm also putting that across the screen at the bottom. So if you're completely new to us, definitely text the phrase "more info," and then separately again text the phrase or the word "new" to 407-326-0086. The word "new" will get you our newest ebook. And then the phrase "more info" will get you our introductory webinar. I also want to just go ahead and tell you too, because I won't be here super long tonight. If you missed Saturday's room by any means, make sure you go back and watch Saturday's room right here on our YouTube channel. All of the rooms are recorded, so go back and check out that replay. Saturday was a great room, whether you're a beginner or you're super seasoned. We touched a lot of different stuff. So the fact that I won't be here super long tonight, make sure you guys check out that room that we did on Saturday right here on our YouTube channel. Just click that link right here on YouTube, subscribe, and click the link that says live. So if you click that button that says live, it'll literally show you all of the rooms that we've done. I have over 600 videos, guys, on this topic of independent living. So again, because I won't be here super long tonight, make sure you guys go and watch that room from Saturday and bring all your questions back tomorrow, because we'll be back here tomorrow again. But as I said, I do want to make sure that I also let people know that because of this November to Remember and Black Friday and my birthday and all of that stuff in this month, everything that we have, guys, is on a crazy sale, right? So also, if I were you guys, I would text the phrase "scholarship" if you've ever wanted our coaching, but the timing just wasn't quite right. Well, right now during this crazy sale, guys, all of our coaching is on a half off sale, all of it. So again, and texting the word "scholarship," actually you're able to get it a little bit lower than the half. So quite naturally, the one-on-one coaching, the ILF Mastery Blueprint is usually $7,500, right? But we're cutting that in half, guys, to only $3,750. And if you text that word scholarship and it leads to a phone call and we get on that phone, guys, it possibly can go even lower than that. So again, during the month of November is one of the greatest times ever to get into our coaching. For one, because it's always on sale because of my birthday and Black Friday. But for two, it's cold outside. So to go ahead and answer a question right now from the Johnson family, not Tia, but a different family, they asked Derek, like, is there a particular time that's better than any other to get started? Well, we always believe in don't wait to be great and get started right now. But if you really want me to answer that, it's the winter months, right? So during the summer months, there's a lot of people that'll tough it out. They'll live outside. They'll live on the park bench. They'll sleep behind the dumpster, right? They'll sleep in the park. Right. But when it gets cold outside, ladies and gentlemen, this is when a lot of people decide to come in and find shelter, right? Find a place to live. So I got some guys that, quite frankly, one guy in particular, every winter I house him. But during the fall and the summer and the spring, he lives outside. He lives in the woods. He's okay with that. He'd rather have his whole check that he gets every month in his pocket versus paying for a place to live. So you got to understand the mindset of people too. But around this time, he gives us a call every time around this time of year, between October, November, December, January, and February. He's trying to be in the inside. But as soon as March hits, around that second week of March, boom, out he goes again. Because again, he don't want to spend his money on what he would call a place to live when he can live outside in a tent. Some people have a mind frame like that. So thank God that you got a sane mind that you know you need to be in the inside all the time and not sleeping outside, right? So again, if you just joined us, we simply talk and discuss with people how to start their own housing program, right? So not a group home, not an ILF, not an ALF, right? And all of our coaching, guys, is half off. And again, if you text the word scholarship, it can get crazy. So make sure you do that. A lot of people have been taking advantage of that. And just even before we go any further, I'm going to even answer some of the questions that came in about the ILF Mastery Blueprint in terms of what's involved in it. So obviously all of the digital services, right? So your website, your logo, your CRM system, all that's involved in that. Our team, my digital marketing team, we're going to build your logo, right? We're going to build your website with your design, meaning your ideas. We got a lot of ways that we make the designs for people. So we got the templates. We got the ways to make it. But if you somebody say, well, Derek, I want to be pretty specific about mine. No problem. You give us your thought process. Our team builds it. So right off the bat, instead of me just coaching you, we're also going to give you the CRM system and the website and your logo. So all your branding, your foundation stuff that you really need, we're going to give it to you because we don't want you leaving us with the coach and scratching your head trying to figure out, well, how I get a website? Where do I go and get it? How do I build it? What color should it be? So we do everything in-house. And of course, the one-on-one coaching is the absolute cheat code to this, right? So I become your big brother. You get my phone number, my personal phone number. You get my staff's phone number, right? So every ebook, every curriculum, every course that we ever created and that we ever will create, you get that as an ILF Mastery Blueprint member. So from the first ebook I ever wrote to the newest one that I give you guys now for free, just by texting the word new to 407-326-0086. So if you want our newest ebook, and again, that's entitled How to Avoid the ILF Fiasco, right? Avoiding the 12 dumbest mistakes I ever made. When I first started, you can get that book for free. And that's just a gift to get you launched and ready to go so that you also don't make a lot of the dumb mistakes that I made in the beginning, y'all. And quite frankly, it was just ignorance. I just didn't know, right? So again, guys, don't forget, I won't be here super long tonight, but make sure if you got any questions or any concerns, let me know in the chat and I'll make sure that I answer those. Other than that, if I don't see any questions in the chat by the time I get ready to go after answering the one or two that did come in, I'll just assume that you guys are good. But even right now, if you can think of a question that you want to ask tonight, make sure you type that in the chat. So again, as I said, the ILF Mastery Blueprint, which involves the HRA. So you heard us talk about the HRA, right? The Housing Referral Agency, meaning how can you do this and not need the property? How can you do this and not need to, right, go out and find $25,000 as a down payment to go and buy a house? or even going to rent or lease one. But how can you do this using your cell phone in relationships? So that's what's also involved in that ILF Mastery Blueprint, guys. And remember, it's half off. So the original price, guys, cut it in half. And then again, if you want to go even crazier, you text that word scholarship and we can get on the phone to talk about how much lower can it go. So all the HRA contents, the course, the SOPs, right? And we're also going to give you the templates, the email templates, the phone script. Meaning, what should you be saying on the phone to these providers? Or if you decide to get that virtual assistant service from us, that done for you service, what should your virtual assistant be saying to these providers? So guys, we are literally filling empty beds using these VAs. And that's, again, man, that's a great thing to have on your side when a lot of you guys have full-time jobs. So again, if you got a full-time job, but God has still put this idea in your heart to house people and help folks, man, you getting a virtual assistant is going to be the cheat code to a lot of that. Your social media, the phone calls that come in, that go out, right? The branding, to building your database in terms of who you're going to be calling, finding you social workers and case managers. In this book right here, you can get this book just by itself by texting the word purpose to that same phone number. And this book explains, how do we get the property? How do we get people to say yes to rent or lease that property to us? Now, many years ago, guys, you had to have my coaching, the complete ILF Master Blueprint. Just to get that coaching, you can get this book now and a live role play. So you get two things, the book and the role play, for only $97. Text the word purpose to that number that's scrolling below. You can get that book by itself. And again, for some people that say, well, Derek, I think I got it. But how in the world do you rent these houses, Derek, to do what you guys do? You can get that book for $97 or get it in the course. And then here's that role play that I told you about, that not only do we give the ebook, but we give you the verbiage and also what it sounds like to speak to a landlord or a property manager, right? Or even the social worker. Now, even though my teaching tells you guys that don't get into all of the medications and stuff in terms of you handing out meds, I still want you to understand the meds. So with your coaching package, I give you the comprehensive guide to the most commonly used medications that the kind of clients that we serve going to be taking. So again, I don't want you giving out medications, but I still want you to understand them, right? And even I kind of go over that with people so that you also know what to look out for, even when it just comes from reading their med sheet, okay? So again, we're simply just discussing, how do you start an independent living facility, a housing program that basically, y'all, we rent rooms to people, but we just got a bunch of rules behind it that make it work, right? So imagine me going to get a 4-bed, 2-bath home. And guys, I'll be honest, you can make this sound as fancy as you like, but essentially what we're doing, guys, is we're renting rooms to people by the bed. And each room for us is usually 2 beds per room, unless you're doing that private model, right? So good to see you, Teal, Dornico. I see you over there. Uriah, good to see you, big bro. Katara. So again, I'm just explaining to the people what all of y'all know already, because most of y'all are under our coaching and you guys are doing this. This is for my new people. And again, in this package that we give you guys is the virtual assistant service that now is even better than the way that we used to offer it. So we got a done for you service, guys, for only $100 a week, right? And if it doesn't involve the phone, incoming or outgoing calls during the month of November, even that's half off at $50 a week. So imagine now getting a virtual assistant service, y'all, for only $50 a week. And again, if it's outside of the month of November, right, if for the limited time that we'll even do that, because that's a crazy deal. And if it involves the phone, it's only $100 a week, y'all. So again, for all my 9-to-5 people that are busy, but you still got a dream in your heart, and it may not be housing people. You may have a bakery shop. You may have a daycare. You may wholesale real estate, right? You may be mining leads for other people on Zillow, but you need a virtual assistant to do it for you. Guys, you can come see us for our done for you service or get it within this package. And then last but not least, all of the private communities that we give you guys, we build those in Telegram, right? So we make you a part of those private VIP groups as well. And again, guys, essentially, again, if you're new to us, that's who we are. That's what we do. And that's what's involved in this ILF Mastery Blueprint, that the normal cost, guys, is usually $7,500. right? But during this Black Friday, birthday, all these crazy things going on in the month of November, and it's just also us being sensitive to the times that we're in. We just want to help people financially. Bottom line of it, right? So cut it in half. And again, if you wanted to go even lower than half, text that word scholarship and let's have a phone call and let's talk about it. Okay. Other than that, as I said, I probably won't even be here past 6:30, guys, unless there's questions in the chat. But I will answer the 2 or 3 questions that came in already. But if I don't see anything else in the chat, this will probably be one of the shorter rooms I've ever done. If you're new to us, guys, I'm usually here for hours and hours sometimes, right? Every Monday and Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern, we come here and we talk about simply how to start your own housing program that doesn't require a license. I don't have to own the property, and I'm not giving out medications. That's the biggest cheat code ever, y'all. You don't have to own the property, and you don't have to pretend to be a nurse and find yourself on the Channel 8 News. And literally what you're looking at on the screen right now, you can rent or lease these properties, furnish them, and become a one-stop shop. So if you're new to us, and somebody said, well, Derek, how would you explain this to somebody if you only had about 45 seconds? Is because I can talk about this for hours. But if you gave me 45 seconds right now to talk about what this model is and what it does, I'll simply tell you this. This is a housing model that you can provide and be an affordable housing answer in your city to when it comes to housing and people that can't afford to buy their own house or can't afford to get their own apartment. These are known as shared living environments. So if you don't mind living with other people in a community style living, this is for you. And again, you can be a military veteran, an elderly adult. You can be a working individual. You can be 18 years old through 118. That's the limit. So we don't house women and children. This is not anything in terms of housing teenagers unless they're aged out of the foster care system and they're 18. So again, really simple. This is a housing model for adults that are able to live and thrive without the need for staff and or medical oversight. And if you want to really boil it down, I rent beds or rooms to other people that can't afford their apartment or their own house that don't mind living in this shared community environment. And I'm known as a one-stop shop. Lights, water, cable, Wi-Fi, all that's on me. My tenants pay me one set fee. Now, I maybe went over a little bit over 45 seconds there, but that's how simple I can make that. And then if I had 30 more seconds, I'm going to tell you guys on the other side of it, you guys as well-to-do people, people that God has put the love of God in your heart and you love people and you love real estate, this is the next best real estate strategy ever. Next to none, because you can do God's will, you can help people, and you can make enough money to feed your family. That's the whole mantra of what we all should be living by. Because here at Forster Consultants, that's what we stand for. We want to please God. We want to help people. We want to be respected by the community. And guys, I also want y'all to make enough money to feed your family while you're doing all of this. I'm not asking y'all to do any of this for free. So again, if I only had 1 minute, because I said 45 seconds and then 30 seconds, that's literally what I would tell you guys, because most of y'all love God. Most of y'all love people in general. And most of y'all either love real estate or you trying to get into real estate. And watch this. God is genius enough of how he showed me how to involve all three of those all together, mashed up into one. So literally, that's who we are. That's what we do. And again, if you guys got any questions or any concerns about that, make sure for sure that you watch our webinar that also leads to a free phone call with me. And you get our webinar simply by just following the instruction of just text the phrase more info. That's MOREINFO to the phone number 407-326-0086. You'll watch that webinar. My team gonna see from the analytics that you watched it. And that's gonna give you a chance to get on the phone with me to talk about how can we get you started in your city? How can you be the answer to affordable housing in your city, to military veterans, elderly adults, right? The working individual, the guy that's got the job at McDonald's, Walmart, Burger King. It just so happens that, guys, when I started, and you're going to see on that webinar, I started with the mental health population. That's my love. Guys, there are so many populations that could use you in this that don't require for you to have a license, that don't require for you to have to buy the property. That's the cheat code. And God messed around and showed me a lady that was making 41 grand a month doing this, y'all. The only difference between me and that lady, y'all, she was doing this housing people in rats and roaches. And I was like, wow. And once I saw that, game over. And I'll repeat that one more time because I saw a lady, y'all, making $41,000 a month doing this. Put a number 7 in the chat. If you made $41,000 a month, would that change your life a little bit? But the difference is, y'all, she did the same model, but she was housing people in rats and roaches. The devil is a liar. God give you the opportunity to help people like that and make that kind of money, and you let them live in squalor and rats and roaches and in filth. Shame on you. Right? So also, guys, looks like on my end, I'm freezing up a little bit. Let me know from maybe 1 or 2 of y'all in the chat. Am I coming through clear or am I breaking up at all? I just want to make sure because I'm over here running my mouth 100 miles a minute. And on my screen, it looks like I'm breaking up just a little bit. But just let me know in the chat if I'm coming through clear. And I see the 7s coming through now because, again, as I said, man, 41 grand a month would change your life. And guys, I was a social worker making 28 grand a year. So it's like, man, God, how can I get in this? God, it'd be cool to make 28 grand a month, God. And that was one of my prayers. God, can you turn my yearly salary into my monthly salary? Like, that's literally how I thought of that, Kevin. And again, if you guys are new to us, man, don't forget, man, watch the webinar, get that free gift. My free ebook that I literally just wrote not long ago is free. And the $40,000 lawsuit that I went through is in that book. And I don't want you to make the same mistake. So text the word new. Very simple. Just text NEW to 407-326-0086. That book is worth $40,000 in my opinion. Because if you can follow my dumb mistakes, and literally, y'all, I just use that word dumb, but to be real with you, it was just ignorance. Ignorance just means that when you don't have the knowledge of something, you just don't know. I wasn't no bad, crummy guy like the lady that was making the 41 grand a month housing people in roaches. Guys, I just didn't know what I was doing. I'm like most of y'all, I just wanted to help people, Troy. I just wanted to help people, bro. And I always wanted to be in real estate. And God was like, Derek, you know you can do both of these together? I was like, say less. So again, this isn't rocket science. And that's why I always tell people, man, if you love God, love people, and love real estate, imagine being able to do God's will, help people, be respected by your community, and make enough money again to feed your family and for you to make a living. Because I don't want none of y'all to do this for free. But guess what? One of my prayers to God is, God, one day I do want a big old commercial building. Uriah, I want to own a building one day where people do live there for free. I want to tie case management into it, social workers into it. But guess what the goal is? To get them income to move right into either one of my ILFs or one of my apartment complexes that we'll also own one day. Because guess what my goal of 2025 is? I want to buy a piece of land where I could put 8 to 10 mobile homes on it. Very simple. I ain't asking for a lot, Katara. I just want a piece of land that's already zoned for that. It's plumbed for that. I just want like 8 to 10 mobile homes. I want to try that out now. That's my new vision. In fact, I may even sell my house in Georgia just to do that. Sell one of my rental properties just to get into that. But again, if you love God, love people, and love real estate, why should this be rocket science if it doesn't require a license? And I do not have to own the property. So that's my whole take on that. Again, I'm begging y'all for questions because, again, once I answer these last 2, I'm out of here. And I'm actually going to bring up one of them right now. It's so funny because one of the questions is actually leaning towards a text I just got to. So an individual asked me, and it's so funny because I'm getting a text about it right now. Derek, will you move in somebody that don't have all the money the day of move in? Well, that depends on a lot of stuff, right? And there's a bunch of different coaching angles I can go at that. But since I did this week, I'll just let you know about it. Got a call, and actually it was a referral from somebody that was playing the HRA, the Housing Referral Agency. I'm going to owe this person money. This person received a phone call from their housing program. They're full to capacity. So they called us. The gentleman sleeping in the woods, had his long sob story. loves God. I felt it. And during my assessment, Katara, he passed my assessment of generally what we look for anyway. He don't get paid until the 27th. I moved this guy in what, 3-4 days? I think today made day 4 or tomorrow might be day 4. So yes, from my discernment and my decision, because it's my program, the state don't call the shots, my city don't call the shots. I was able to move this guy in on my say so. How powerful is that, Kevin? That I didn't have to call somebody. I didn't have to get my state permission. That I made a call because I felt sorry for a guy that was sleeping in the woods that's elderly, that also told me that he wanted to get his relationship with God back right. I feel right for that. Y'all know me on that. And watch this. Even before that, guys, he passed my general assessment. Because if you super new to us and you don't understand how this works, what you looking at on this screen, nobody can move into one of these beds unless we've done an assessment and they've passed it. Meaning that they've passed a series of questions. Because in the beginning, I just moved in anybody. If you had a phone number and you called us from the first day I opened, I moved you in. That was the dumbest thing I could have ever did. You want to know the quickest way to get your program shut down, Miss Teal, is to bring in a bunch of knuckleheads to where you didn't do an assessment on, and you just moved them in because A, maybe you so desperate for the money, or B, you just kind of didn't know what you was doing. Guys, I had a clown show in the beginning, and it's because I was bringing in the wrong people. This thing flows like a sewing machine when you bring in the right people. That's what can kind of make it almost passive. Because I'll admit, my house is pretty much run by themselves. Yeah, I go by and check in, and sometimes I even clean up and all of these things. But guys, if you get the right people, this thing is like a crock pot. You can set it and forget it. But the moment, Troy, you get the wrong people in this place, man, that's when it's like that hot skillet that's on the highest temperature ever, and you got a little bit of oil in it. Man, you'll burn the whole house down like that. That's what it's like getting the wrong people, getting the right people, like the crock pot. Man, I can put a steak in that thing, some potatoes, a little liquid, and walk away from it for 8 hours, Troy. Come back, and it's the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. That's a well-ran housing program. Make sense, everybody? So, again, you know, back to that point, will I move in somebody that doesn't have? Absolutely, because guess what we also got from this gentleman, and I coached this. His payment method is already in my system. With the coaching you guys get from us, we have something that's called Digital Flow Solutions. That's going to run your whole business, your website, your CRM, your phone system, and your social media. Everything that you can think of for a business, your email campaigns, your text messaging, guys, it's all, we give you everything you need. That's why we're unbeatable when it comes to coaching. Because I can run my mouth coaching you, but it's baloney when I don't give you the tools. So that's why we give you the tools, the virtual assistant, the CRM. We build your website to your likeness, your color scheme. So back to the original question. Yes, I moved this guy in. And yes, I expect that he pay me. And Troy, guess why I also like this guy already, Troy? He can do sheetrock work. He lay tile floors. He lay wood floors. He's a little bit of a plumber. Guess what? Yesterday, the house he lives in, they called me and said, Mr. Derek, you know, we usually call Jess, and we already did, but the kitchen faucet leaking. I said, well, the guy that just moved in, man, he said he can fix all that kind of stuff. Show it to him. If he can fix it, y'all go to Amazon and get what we need, send it to me and Jess, and we'll order it. Troy, the guy called me back and was like, Derek, this is easy. Did I tell you that I do this and this and this and this and this? Well, Troy, it's only one way to find out, Troy. I got to let him get to it. But Troy, guess what? I also trust that. I've been doing this long enough, y'all, that I tell all of y'all that y'all prayer should be, God, don't only just give me good guys, but give me guys that I can also eventually employ them and give them work. A lot of y'all know I started a pressure washing company about 75 days ago. That company really wasn't all for me. That company was eventually to turn over to somebody else to take all of my guys that want to do work and learn pressure washing to give them something to do. Because we believe that we can keep them busy, we can keep them out of trouble. So that's my motto at Second Chance Housing. Keep them busy and keep them out of trouble. Somebody type that in the chat. We like to keep them busy, which keeps them out of trouble. And don't let it be the where I can put a little money in their pocket. Oh, Lord have mercy. Now I've hit the trifecta. Because I tell y'all all the time, most of y'all can't see it, but right over my left shoulder is a vision board. I'm in my office/studio. Guys, on that board, always has said, God, I want to help people through housing and real estate. But I also want to be able to give them jobs. Dornico, I've always said that, bro, and I've always taught y'all to do that eventually. Maybe from day one, Tia, you ain't gonna be able to give these guys jobs from day one until you own a tractor, you do concrete work, you do driveway work. But Tia, maybe not from day one, but eventually, Tia, if you're in this over a year and you don't tell me, hey, Derek, man, you know them driveways that me and my husband do and all that landscaping we do, and Derek, I've never taken none of my guys to go do that, Tia, I'll be upset with you. In a nice way, but I'll be like, Tia, you didn't take them guys with you to go to work? Because that's what they want to do. Most of my guys are bored at the house. Does that make sense, everybody? So this goes beyond me just housing somebody. What kind of skill set do you come with? Now, trust me, Troy, I got a bunch of guys that lay and sleep and do nothing all day. I got a guy, y'all, that's all he do. He sleep 12 to 14 hours a day. He get up at night and watch TV all night and barely eat anything. He don't give no problems. He pay rent on time. He ain't no problem. He's not a problem. He's not a problem. And he don't cause problem. Oh, and by the way, did I say it? He pay rent on time all the time because his card is in our system that we give y'all that comes out automatically. Now, trust me, Troy, I like them kind of guys too. Now, Kevin, don't get it twisted, Kevin. The people that come to me, Kevin, they don't need a skill set. He don't have to know how to mow grass. But my guy, Larry, he's so bored and want to mow grass so much, he cut my grass at the ILF every 3 days. Y'all get what I'm saying? And I don't mind paying for the dadgum gas because sometimes he gets so bored, he go buy the gas. So I'm just going on these little tangents and these little pig trails to show y'all again the thought process that goes into this. I'm still answering the same question. Will I move in a guy that don't have all the money when it's time to move in? Troy, why you think I moved this guy in? For one, he sounded great. For two, he needed my help. For three, he's handy. All of us need a handy guy, Miss Tia. Miss Tia, you live 40 minutes away from your ILF. You don't think you need a handyman in the city? That's why this guy is genius to me. When you all get a guy like this, and it happens to all of y'all that I'm coaching y'all gonna call me when they say, Derek, boy, remember that time you told me, Derek, I'm gonna get a guy, he gonna be handy, he gonna be able to fix the AC, the toilet, the plumbing, door locks, windows. You gonna say, Derek, boy, I got me one. His name is Mr. Chris. I'm going to say congratulations because I already know what that feel like. I finally got another one because I kind of had one. Now, this guy sound like he's way like, but boy, we going to find out because I already put the order in the Amazon and I got a backup already, y'all, if he can't do it. Now, don't get that twisted. I teach how you get all of this done if you ain't got these kind of guys. But guess who can't wait to see, Tia, can he do this? Me. So again, I'll end that out by saying, yes, I've moved in people, but use your discernment. Women, use your intuition. God gave y'all something that he didn't give us men. Me and Troy don't have that. Troy and Dornico, we don't have that, okay? We don't have per se intuition. Uriah doesn't have an intuition per se. God blessed y'all women with an intuition. Uriah and I got common sense. We got discernment, right? And ultimately, remember, I always tell y'all, pray for the right people. God, I'm trying to help these people and start a nice program. And God, can you keep me away from the knucklehead, the guy that don't want to pay rent, the guy that's dodging me on rent day, the guy that want to use drugs and alcohol and don't want to change his life? God, they need help too, but not in my program because I'm trying to help people that want to change their life. God, bring me the people that's praying every night for a safe place to live. What y'all think this guy told me the other day? He said, man, Derek, he said, I don't know you, man, but boy, he said, it's almost like I can feel you a God-fearing man. I've been praying for the last couple of days. He said, I went to this little prayer meeting and I told the people last night that I need something good to happen tomorrow. Guys, the next day, that's when he got in contact with us. Now, we laugh and we joke and we play all the time, y'all, but I ain't have nothing to do with that. That was God's work. Hearing his prayer, but also hearing my prayer saying, God, I don't want the knucklehead. I done had a lot of guys that's dodging rent, that's breaking rules. God, send me the guy that's praying every night, crying to you for a safe place to live. And God, connect me with that guy. Y'all, that happened to me just now 3 days ago. And I live this life now. Because one thing that I did many years ago, I made a decision. I didn't let my 9-to-5 job stop me because I knew I was going to leave that one day. And I knew it when I put it back in God's hands. Notice I'm talking about God a lot today. Guys, I'm no pastor, I'm no priest, and I'm not no bishop. I got a bunch of stuff wrong with me, believe me. But I love God, I love people, and I love real estate. And God is genius enough, and he showed us how to mesh all of these together. That's all this is, y'all. I can brand this in a bunch of different ways, but y'all, what this is I go out and rent a 4-bed, 2-bath home. Guys, it can be a 2-bed, 1-bath. I don't care. Start somewhere. And I'm going to build relationships with social workers and case managers through social media, through email campaigns, and through calling them, letting them know that I am the go-to guy for housing in this city. And when you think of housing, think of me. Guys, that is this. Now, my coaching can go for hours. But what I can also do, I can break stuff down in 10 seconds. See, I just told y'all what I do. 4-bed, 2-bath, I'm going to go and rent it. Because most of us, quite frankly, we can't just go out tomorrow and buy a place. So in less than 30 seconds, guys, we go out and rent a 2-bed, 1-bath, 3-bed, 1-bath, 8-bed, 4-bath, whatever. We communicate and build relationships with social service type people, social workers, case managers, the Goodwill, the Salvation Army, all hospitals, whatever. Through social media, we're letting people know 7 days a week that we the go-to answer when it comes to shared housing. How do you think most of the calls come through us? Hey, man, I was on y'all social media. I see that y'all rent rooms. How y'all do that? I work here at South Minot Hospital. I'm over here at South Seminole Hospital, and I'm on my lunch break, and I'm eating my cheese sandwich, and I saw your TikTok thing. Can you tell me how can I get my client in? Guys, that happened to, I was on a coaching call today, and Tiffany, please be in this room. Tiffany Richardson, if you're here, please shout me out. Tiffany and I was on a phone call today because she's a coaching client. A phone call came through a hospital, and I always love when this happened because I want y'all to hear it. Most of my older people, y'all remember the days where I played this through my system right here live. Raise your hand if you ever heard those. And Tiffany got a chance to hear a live assessment and a call that went great that we accepted. It was for a female. Lucky for the social worker, Shay was next to me. Because again, Shay houses the women, I house the guys, and literally what you are looking at on this screen. It's not rocket science, y'all. 4-bed, 2-bath, we go and rent it. The social worker that called today got my number from the co-worker that found me on TikTok, running my big mouth as usual. And when they called looking for me, because I'm always busy, my VA answered the phone. Transfers to me after doing an assessment. I'm talking to now the client and the social worker on a call. We all together. We talked to this lady probably for 10 minutes. And I'll admit, the first 3 minutes was kind of the real assessment. The other 7 minutes was just filling things out and see how it was going to go. What's the day of discharge? And when can she move in? Shay is now getting a brand new client on December 2nd, which is a Monday, if I'm not mistaken, from somebody that saw me running my big mouth on TikTok. But even as the HRA, if you don't have a house today, remember the HRA stands for Housing Referral Agency. You can turn yourself into an HRA. You could have took that call today. Lord, I wish Tiffany was in this room. Tiffany Richardson. What if y'all would have took that call today? Because the HRA is no different. The HRA means you take the call, and because you don't have a house, you call one of us that do, or somebody in your city that do. You make a referral. Now, what is your referral fee? Are you guys catching this? Like, am I losing anybody? Because one thing about me, I think when I'm explaining stuff that I break it down real simple, but if I'm talking too fast or if I'm stuttering, any of that, y'all slow me down. I promise not to be here super long, but y'all know how I get. I was supposed to be going already, right? Shay taking me on an ice cream date tonight. But before I go, I just want to make sure that I answered those questions, and that was one of them. Will I move in somebody that doesn't have all the income? Yes. By my discernment, by common sense, by the story that I received, by the income they get and when they get it. Okay? Now, I'm going to go to the chat real quick because I don't want to miss anything from the chat. I always answer live stuff first, so let me see. And don't forget, guys, I'm out of here in probably less than 10 minutes. Y'all know me, though. I'll keep going, but hopefully in less than 10 minutes, I'm out of here. But I'll answer anything that I see in the chat. Also, I want to give a big shout out to Dornico. Dornico, I went into a clubhouse room the other day, and as soon as I went in, they were talking about me. I was like, okay, like, what did I do wrong? But they were praising me, but they were talking about you. So I don't know where you were. I guess last week, maybe you was in a room or something, and they were talking about you and how you were talking about the ILF model and your story and where you came from. And you told them, I guess, that you learned it from us. And so that was real random, but I just want to say thank you, big bro. I appreciate that. How you always give that credit back to us. Because I even told them in that room, I said, well, Dornico's somebody that we consider almost now, I hate to say the word, but kind of an expert in what this is now. There's a lot of people that's under our tutelage, but there are very few people that I'll say, boy, they got it. Like, they can almost teach it like us. They do it like us, and they follow the model, or what Otis used to say, he follows the recipe. So Dornico didn't add extra sugar, a tincture flour, and all these other little things to his cake when we taught him how to make the cake. But what I love now is that because he knows how to make the cake, he had all kind of drizzle and fudge and chocolate and all that extra stuff now because he's got the basis of the cake. So Dornico, again, man, thank you, big bro. You always thank us, but again, man, that goes both ways. So first of all, you're welcome, but we thank you because, again, I'm congratulating you right now because, again, I walked into a room, bro, and like, I don't know if y'all have ever done that before. Either like walked into a room, walked into a social media setting, and they're talking about you. And it took like 4 minutes for me to grasp kind of like what was going on, but because when he was talking about it, he couldn't remember your name. But somebody in the chat said Dornico. As soon as I saw your name, bro, I say, I already know what this is. Dornico was telling them what's up. They was asking you about probably housing. Y'all was probably talking about wholesaling, and it kind of, so again, big bro, just on a live public stage, man, thank you for always giving us credit for giving you the game. But thank you, big bro, for always doing what we call move at the speed of instruction. It's people like you, Dornico, that make us look genius. I'll just admit it. And it's a bunch of y'all in here, and I could just name all of y'all. But it's people like you guys that make us look genius, because when you do what we say, you take the coaching and then you're successful and other people see it. I don't have to say, well, look what we did for Dornico. I never went on some rant saying that. It's always you, the people coming back and say, hey, man, I was talking to this guy, Dornico, man. He said, man, y'all, da, 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 da. So again, D, thank you, man, for how you always kind of put us out like that and give us credit. But again, thank you for also moving at the speed of instruction and making it work, bro, for you and your family so that we can go back and show other people what you've done, right? Or, excuse me, what God has done through you, because we always put God first. So again, man, thank you so much. And again, guys, I'm out of here in a few minutes, but if you got any questions, any concerns, that's the only way that I'll kind of stay. Other than that, I was supposed to be gone already. I love y'all, as y'all know, but I still say it. If you miss Saturday's room, whether you're seasoned or brand new to this housing model that we're discussing right now, make sure that you go and check out Saturday's replay. And if you go to YouTube and just click that link that says live, guys, I got over 625 videos on this topic. There is nobody on this app, on this social media street that can out-coach us when it comes to real estate and the shared housing model. You find them, you bring them to me. I like to meet them one day. But there's nobody there that's made as many mistakes and messed this up like us. $40,000 lawsuit, and then we give it to you free in an ebook, right? And then the guy on the other side of it now that's doing it and teaching it. So that's the difference between us. A lot of people talk it, but y'all, we do it, but we also teach it. So don't be trying to get caught up with these people, guys, that are trying to teach y'all stuff and they actually don't do it. Try to stay away from that. Every course and curriculum and thing that I'm involved in now, I'm learning from people that are already doing it. They're actively doing it. Not something they did 10 years ago. So be careful with that stuff. Be careful who you guys get your coaching from. I always say that. I would love if you got your coaching from us, but if you don't, vet your people out. Make sure they know what they're doing. Make sure that you feel the love of God in it, because if that ain't in it, it could be bound to fail anyway, right? So make sure that God is the center of it, and make sure that they're good people in general as well. Other than that, there's one more question that came in, because it was only actually two. Let me see. Let me bring it back up. In fact, let me pay a couple bills. And don't forget, guys, all coaching is half off during this month of November. So the original ILF Mastery Blueprint, that's $7,500. That's not only $3,750, which can also go lower than that if you just text the word scholarship to the phone number scrolling below. That gets you a phone call with me to talk about how much deeper possibly could that discount go. We go crazy usually the month of November, guys, because it's my birthday, my mom's birthday, and my wife's birthday, all in one. Bunch of us that are in November. So we usually go crazy along with Black Friday and Thanksgiving. So the entire month of November, guys, no matter what you want, is basically half off. Just let us know. And again, you can get that by texting the word scholarship to 407-326-0086. Let's take a break, guys, and we'll be right back. If you've ever imagined of starting your own housing program, there is no reason that after we're done here tonight that you shouldn't go to forstonconsultants.com/webinars and watch the webinar, guys, because a lot of you have wanted to start a group home or traditional assisted living facility, but that stuff takes license. It takes a lot of time to open. There's a lot of red tape to jump through. You have to ask for permission. We teach you guys how to open an ILF, an independent living facility, where you can house the homeless, displaced adults, or anybody that has a guaranteed income, and it doesn't require a license, and you don't have to own the property. Make sure you watch that free webinar at forstonconsultants.com/webinars, and then set up a free strategy call so that me and my team can get you started. Let's get back to the show. All right. So one thing I do want to discuss too, this actually won't be live, but if you're an ILF Mastery Blueprint member, ICC, any of those special groups, there's a cheat code that I've recently been introduced to. Well, let me not say that. I've known about it, but I'm now starting to share it. And I want to give it to you all. And what I found out, and first of all, is Angela Brooks here? Angela Brooks, if you're here, shout me out in the chat. Because Angela can also help us, because Angela had a lot of experience with what I'm getting ready to talk about in terms of this certain kind of insurance and how enrollment works and all of that stuff. I don't want to give any false information. So if Angela Brooks is here, shout me out in the chat, Angela, because I want you to verify this next statement, because it's something I'm not sure of. But anyway, she's here. So Angela, you and I talked about this particular insurance that I'm actually going to divulge inside of the ILF Mastery Blueprint group. What this insurance does, y'all, and it's so genius, it gives your resident $320 every month towards their rent. And what I like about that is this: most times when an insurance company offers this, Dornico, it's only one time a month, and that client can only use it one time it's one time a year, or it's a one-time perk the entire time they have the insurance. We found in insurance, y'all, that I'm letting all of my guys, in fact, I've made it a part of my assessment that if they don't have this insurance, I want them to get it. What it allows them to do, guys, is it puts $320 back into the pockets of your resident. Or let's just say that you've raised your rents, or you got this fee that most of your residents can't afford. That $320 now will allow them to now be able to afford it. I'm going to give a small example. We did a small rent increase at my program just this past month, actually, right? So the month of November was the first month that all of my tenants received a $40 increase. Guess why none of them cared about that $40 increase? Because I introduced all of them of how to get $320 a month extra back in their pocket through this insurance. Thank Me Later. I like Gucci. I like Prada. I've never bought it. I like Polo. I like Nike. Y'all can buy me all of that stuff for Christmas just to say thank you. And what's cool is that I thought maybe that it will only be available in Florida. But this is where I want to use Angela Brooks at. So, Angela, you're somebody that has had experience with insurance and enrolling people. And I know that sometimes with stuff like this, there's a certain enrollment period. And Angela, because I don't want to mislead somebody, as much as you know about this program, because you've looked it up, is there a certain time where people can start and stop this thing? Because pretty much what I've seen, Angela, in my experience, I tell my client about it, they get on the phone and do it, and the next month, on the 1st, that 320 comes in on that card, which we take the card, put into our system, and it draws out the 320 automatically. So now my guy rent that was maybe $740, he don't owe me $740 now. Whatever 740 minus that 320, that's what he should be giving me now. Does that make sense, everybody? And again, if you're an ILF Mastery Blueprint member, you're going to get that game from me for free. That's too juicy just to give out here on YouTube, but that's the advantage of you guys being family and a part of the coaching, because I want you all to either A, put more money back in your tenant's pocket, B, put more money back in your pocket, C, raise all your rents, and still be able to have it covered every month. I'll say this one more time. Usually when an insurance company offers something like this, it's a one-time offer or it's once a year. This one gives $320, y'all, every month towards the rent or utilities. Angela says they can change now because it's open enrollment season. Starting January, they have to wait for a future month to change. So this just told me, even my new guy that I just told y'all about, he kind of know about it, but it's my job to make sure he get this before the 1st of next month. Because I want to be able to help him out and put an extra 320 in his pocket, and probably between me and y'all, his rent gonna change. Right? So again, look at what this benefit does once you know about it and how you can better your clients. Lord have mercy. That's some game right there. Angela, in fact, because Angela's so knowledgeable about that, I may have you and I do that, Angela, because I'll have you speak to open enrollment. What does that mean? When can they get in it? But she pretty much just told y'all it's good now. So, in fact, Angela, I give you full permission tonight to list in the chat, because I'll let you do this. Teal, yes, Teal, you can get part of it because you're in Florida. So Florida, you're automatic. Angela's probably going to let you guys know further, because I'm going to let Angela take charge of this. Angela, you can put in that chat what's the name of that insurance. You can also put in the chat what are some of the states that it's available, because I also saw in 2025 they're adding, and just as a incentive, Georgia, I'll give y'all one of them. Georgia is one that they're adding in 2025. Troy. So Georgia right now is not a part of that, but in 2025 they are added to that. So and like Angela said, and she's giving y'all the game already, they can't go to the ATM with this card, y'all. They can go to Walmart, Walgreens, and a couple other places, and I'll just kind of stop it right there, Angela. I want this for my family members first. All IMB and coaching members, we'll give this to the public at a different time later. But I want all IMB people, because I want y'all to get the advantage of this to help y'all financially and your tenant. Your tenant gonna think you a saint for doing this, by the way. So just in case if you don't know it, my tenants love me for this, y'all. Because somebody gonna hear this the wrong way and be like, well, Derek, man, why would you raise their rent? Well, bro, they was facing a rent increase anyway. My genius self thought of it. You know what? Let me offer this to my other guys and see if they'll want it. Man, they all signed. Well, not all yet. But in my one house, my one guy told everybody. And by the way, guess who told me about this insurance? I didn't know this. One of my tenants told me. Mr. Larry, who I'm always talking about. Larry know everything, y'all. And when he told me about it, I thought he was just talking. And I, in other words, show me big mouth. And he called the people, put me on the phone, and the lady said, yep. She said, well, I said, well, ma'am, how do I get the money if I can't go to the ATM? She said, well, don't you have a processing service? See why it's so important to have a website? See why it's so important to tie Stripe or Square into the website that we give y'all for y'all coaching? See why our coaching is so genius? You can't take this card, y'all, and go to the dadgum ATM. But if you get digital flow solutions from us, which is your website and CRM system, you tie Stripe into it, because guess what happens on the first of the month for me, for all of my guys that got it? On the first of the month, around 8:05 a.m., every first of the month, ching ching, Stripe takes that money automatically. I don't have to swipe it or go nowhere. We put that card, we put it into our system and put it under what you call a subscription base. Make sense? So Angela, feel free to go ahead and let them know what that is inside of that Telegram group. And you can put as much detail as you want, Angela. Remember that day me and you was talking about it and you were sending me screenshots and all of that stuff? So get as detailed as you want. That way that they don't have to wait on me to go live on it. I'll give y'all this tonight because Tia's ready for it right now. So Tia, imagine your expensive rooms you got, Tia, and that nice luxury ILF you got. What if you get a call from the greatest guy ever, Tia, but he $200 away from what he think that should be? Tia, if he switches insurance, you move him in now, Tia, on the basis of as long as you get this insurance, bro, and turn that card over to us, you now only owe us, because Tia, you going to get the 320 coming straight to you. Right? So, like, I hope that's making a lot of sense for people that are under us, because y'all should really know what I'm talking about. Now, if you're new to this game, you might be lost right now. But if you're under our coaching, this is an absolute gem to what we do. Okay? And this is why, again, I don't hide this stuff, and I want y'all to get it. All right? So other than that, I think I'm out of here. Let me check this chat one more time, because that means if I get out of here now, I would have done this in under an hour when I thought I would have done it in under 30 minutes, but an hour is still pretty good. So the last thing that I'll say again, man, it's Black Friday all month for us. All of our coaching is half off. If you text the phrase scholarship, that allows you to actually get it under the half that we're already offering it, y'all. We just want to be a big help to people the month of November. And again, if you desire the virtual assistant service, let me find the number for that real quick. Let me not be in a rush on that one, because y'all been lighting Shay's schedule up. So thank y'all in one way, but boy, Shay been drowning in a good way from all of the people that are wanting this service. So I'm scrolling that below right now. If you want to know more about digital flow solutions, you can text the word CRM or the phrase CRM, customer relations management system. That just means how you going to run your business through that website. How can your website do business without you having to be there while you sleep at 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 in the morning, but people are visiting your website? How can your CRM and your website do business for you with all of these AI VAs and all of these AI tools that we have now? Okay. So before I forget, let me always do this and say thank you to everybody that came. You guys have a lot of choices of where you could have been, but you chose to be here. And I just want to say thank you. And we appreciate that. Also, to the same number that's scrolling below, to that 809 number, if you're interested in that VA service, right, just text 2 letters, VA, to that phone number. Other than that, man, you guys be blessed. It's 6:59. I'm going to try to see if I can do it in an hour flat. I love y'all. Join us tomorrow, which most likely be Shay. If she ain't crazily busy with all these appointments y'all setting her up with. But Tuesdays, we usually talk about digital flow solutions and the VAs anyway. And how do you run a business, whether it's this or anything else you do? I don't care if you fry chicken or you bake cookies. You need a business and a website and a virtual assistant for help. So join us tomorrow, 6 p.m. And also don't forget, click the tab that says live on our YouTube channel. We have over 600 videos, guys, on this topic alone. Not a question you can think of that's not already in a video format. Other than that, you guys be great. Now unto him that is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all we can ever ask or think, according to God's power that worketh in us. You guys be great, and we'll talk to y'all soon. So Dennis, in this independent living facility model, right, which y'all call ILFs, what kind of residents can I house in this kind of model? David, that's a great question. And that's actually what makes the ILF model so great, is because it's flexible. So prime example, you can house military veterans, elderly adults, women that are escaping domestic violence, and the list goes on and on.